Technology shaping the future of education and work. And without any further delay, first most, I would like to request our session moderator, Dr. C.S. Nair, Director, Silverline Prestige School. I would like to request you, sir, to please kindly come and join us on stage. तालियों के साथ everybody all together, please welcome sir on stage. Next, I would like to request Dr. S.K. Rathore, Chairman and MD, Sanford Group of Schools. Please come forward and join us on stage. I would like to request Daljit Kaur, Director, Guru Nanak English School. Please come and join us on stage. I would like to request Dr. Sanjayan Tripathi, Chairman, Novels Group of School and Colleges. I would like to request Geetika Bahuguna, COO Academics, Little Millennium School. And last but not the least, I request Shiv Pandey, Assistant VP Operations, SATE MR Jaipuria Schools. So, I believe हमारे कुछ स्पीकर्स यहाँ पे उपस्थित नहीं हैं, फिलहाल यहाँ पे नहीं है. आई थिंक कुछ ही देर में वो हमें ज्वाइन करेंगे. सो आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट आवर सेशन मॉडरेटर टू प्लीज काइंडली मॉडरेट द सेशन. थैंक यू. Dr. S.K. Rathore, Chairman and MD, Sanford Group of Schools. So I think now we are ready. So once again, I would like to request our session moderator to please kindly moderate the session. Thank you.
It's almost good afternoon. The session was supposed to be starting in the morning. Anyways, without making any delay now, we are here. We are saying that okay, the session theme that we are going to do is for transformative technologies shaping the future of education and work. So where we are saying is that okay, the technology is taking care of, like we have been listening in the morning. The panelists have said that there is a need for change. There is a need for the VUCA world. Chandan was talking about the VUCA world, which is the volatility, complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity. All these words are talking about technology. So we are talking about the use of technology. We are talking about the integration of technology. We are talking about automation of the learning, automation of the teaching. So we have some great distinguished panels. Rathore Sahab is here. He is, like Chandan said, he has always been there. We have been there for long years now. So whatever we are trying to do, ultimately, how is it going to impact the learner is what we are going to do. So what we do, the structure, let me just tell you what we are going to do for, we have been given for 34 minutes now. We have 3 members. So on an average 8 to 10 minutes each panelist I would request to take. So the structure, let me tell you the structure, is that I will request the panelists to introduce themselves and introduce about their institution and to set their own context, is that how is this new technology, how is technology integration that is happening, keeping education as a system, technology as the enabler, global citizenship as a context. We were listening to global citizenship. We were listening to integrating technologies into education in the morning. So keeping those things in mind, I would request them to introduce their institution and we will set the context for, I will have a few questions to each panel member. Then we will be able to then proceed further with the closing remarks of highlighting what their institution are doing. Okay, will that be okay? Okay, so we will just start with Rathore Sahab only. So in case if you can introduce yourself as well as tell your institution.
Thank you, sir. So good afternoon, everyone. As Nair sir said, my name is S.K. Rathore. I'm founder, chairman, and managing director of Sanford Group of Schools. We have more than 250 preschools, primary schools, and 10+2 schools in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. And we are into this profession for more than 24 years now. We started our first preschool in year 2000, started expansion in 2009 December. We'll complete 15 years of expansion this December. And primarily or dominantly, we are working in early childhood education, and we means my team, not I. So my team has done fantastic job in early childhood space, and now this torch what me and my wife started in 40 years back. Then now for 24 years back, my children have taken over. My daughter is taking the torch bearer. Now she is the torch bearer, and she did her research in early childhood education, and she is probably the first girl from the country who did her research in early childhood education from Leeds University, UK in 2018. So I just wanted to say this because this shows how serious we are in early childhood space, basically. How seriously we wanted to work, how seriously we are working in this field. And I strongly believe, and I think Geetika ma'am will also, be agreed with me, lots of work has to be done in early childhood space, because this is the most ignored space of the education. This is the place, this is the time of the human being's life where the most of the concentration has to be given, and सबसे कम काम इसी field पर हुआ है. Whether it's parent or society or even our governments. अभी नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 की सुबह से बात चल रही है. नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में पहली बार अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एजुकेशन को जगह मिली है. इससे पहले हम लोग, गीतिका मैडम की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी, मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी, और हम लोगों जैसी और कई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पिछले 20-30 साल से काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन रिकॉग्निशन अभी मिली है हम लोगों को फ्रॉम दिस सेशन ओनली. सो now we are educating parents for last so many years. Why should they send their children to preschool, good preschool at the age of 2 years, 3 years? Because this is the right age to send their child to a learning setup, formal learning setup for the playway methodology. So we are working in that field, and as this session is on the technology, so we'll whatever question Nair sir will throw on me, I'll try to answer that question. We are doing so much in on the technology also in our space. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, and a very good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Geetika, and I represent Millennium Group of Schools. Currently, I'm working very closely with the preschool chain, so Little Millennium Group. And as far as my passion and mission goes, I have been working for the last 20 years in the corporate in pursuit of bringing about quality in education. And in this journey, I have worked with K-12 schools. It began with K-12 schools, all the private high-end schools, followed by setting up schools in the rural sector under the CSR. And then intervention into the government space, where we again try to work on quality support model to see how we can impact the larger society. And then in the last tenure, I was working with K-12 in our Millennium Group only in setting up quality K-12 schools. And recently, I have also stepped into this segment of early childhood care, which is a new segment, but last 1 year, while it was part of the K-12, but now is the time where I'm very, very closely working on how in academics and how to make learning meaningful and happen at this early age. And I realized that this is the most critical entire journey. I felt that if everybody focuses, and now NEP is focusing on this, it has got into the formal segment, and it's the most critical stage, and how technology can enable teachers. I think we'll be talking about it later, but I think I'm enjoying my journey here. in trying to ensure quality in early childhood care education. If we do the right, if we are able to give the right foundation, we will ensure the right citizens of the country, and that's how it manifests. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shiv Pandey. I am working as Assistant Vice President with CMR Jaipuriya Schools. The journey of the brand of the group into the school space, it started from Lucknow itself. We just had Promni ma'am, Kanak sir was there. He was the founder for all this, achievement that we have done over the last 10 years. All of it started in 2013-14 when we started franchising across country. And as I said, the journey started from Lucknow, but over the years, in the last 10 years, we have opened 60 plus schools across country. And we are pretty confident that we have learned, we have evolved, and we are keeping the pace with this digital disruption as well, which is the topic of the day. Talking about digital disruption, I would like to speak in general, the current situation, the current scenario that we have in our country. Though we have seen a paradigm shift, there has been a very strong transformation in the last few years with respect to technology. And credit sometimes, you have to give the credit to even pandemic. And once again, sadly, I don't believe in that theory. Probably we have to come out of it. But sadly, once again, for this invention, again, the mother was need. Generally, at times you have to come out of it and you have to foresee the changes that you want to see in the world, the kind of education you want to provide. And you don't have to always wait for the need to evolve and to, invent. So probably that is where I think we can always give the credit. But the current situation of this technological evolution in the country, there's still a vast scope for all of us to work on. If you talk about the data points that we have, now if I have to, kind of make a pyramid and put all the schools in that pyramid, at the bottom probably you'll have the schools who still are looking for this technological intervention. They don't have the resources available. You move up in the pyramid, you will find the schools who have the technology, but probably the vision is not clear. It is just a point of parity. It is in the trend. So many other schools are using the technology. We should also use it. That is the objective. Probably it is very cosmetic. It is very impulsive and compulsive. Just because, we had to show something as a marketing tool in our schools. That's why we have the technology. You move in the pyramid, you come at the top, you will find very, very little schools, countable numbers, who are using this technology and the data that they are extracting out of this technology. What kind of data we are talking about? We keep saying, very safely we say that, we want to identify the unique potential of a child, and then we want to personalize the whole learning experience of a child. But are we getting that data precisely? Are we analyzing that data as to which field that child would be interested in? What is the innate ability? So there are a lot of questions to be asked. You come at the top of the pyramid, you'll find very few schools will probably reach that level wherein they are extracting the data and then analyzing it and then evaluating and then creating a solution. So probably that is what we would like to discuss.
Okay. So, as I told you the structure, let me now get into the specific queries. I am very sure that from the audience also there will be lots of people who will be interested to know the answers for this. So, starting with Rathore Saab, I will ask you, there are three things that I wish to know. One is that I wish to know about your focus on the AR, VR. We are talking about that when it is coming to technology. We are talking about artificial intelligence when it is coming to the data analytics, like he was saying about the market trend analysis, etc. But specific to you, you are a veteran, you have created the second generation, you have seen the 19th century, 20th century, 21st century trends in the past, the journey so far, current state of the nation, and therefore putting both these things together, way forward action. So what will be your turn or take for creating an equilibrium between these three, plus promising the child yet to be born is becoming a master of choice, if you can.
So, we are talking about technology, whether it is AR, VR, or artificial intelligence, or any other kind of application is there. So, I just wanted to share with you people. I before the education, I was in the IT industry only. So I worked for almost 15 years in IT field. So that experience of mine, I implemented in my model of franchising when we planned to come out with the franchise model of our schools. Then in 2009, we bring touchscreen computers in the preschool education system. We brought some applications जहाँ पर के बच्चे अभी ये गेम तो बड़ा कॉमन हो गए, मोबाइल पे खेलते हैं बच्चे. देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ एजुकेशनल गेम्स ऑल्सो जहाँ पर कि आप बच्चों को गेम खेलते खेलते सिखाते हैं और वो उनका लर्निंग पैटर्न चेक करते हैं या उनके स्टेजेस हम देखते हैं कितना बच्चा सीख गया है. बट इन 2009 वी ब्रॉट समथिंग फ्रॉम अदर कंट्रीज़ जहाँ पर कि बच्चे कियोस्क बनाए हम लोगों ने. उस कियोस्क पे ऐसे जैसे ये स्क्रीन लगी हैं, उस टाइम पर इतनी बड़ी स्क्रीन तो नहीं होती थी. वी इम्पोर्टेड द टच स्क्रीन ऑल्सो एंड वी मेक दैम अंडरस्टैंड. एंड बच्चों को स्कूल आना क्यों अच्छा लगने लगा, हमने ये देखा कि उन्हें लगता है कि हम यहाँ जाके कुछ ऐसा गेम खेलने को मिलता है जो कि घर पे नहीं है या कहीं और नहीं है. So that was the game changer in preschool industry, and that was the thing which made Sanford popular very, at very early stage. One thing. So we started with the technology. One thing. Now in 2019, after 10 years of the Sanford, we thought कि अब क्या नया टेक्नोलॉजी में, प्ले स्कूल टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या करेगा अब नया. तो then we started working on AR. ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी करिकुलम पे हम लोगों ने काम करना शुरू किया, पर अनफॉर्चुनेटली 2020 में तो स्कूल बंद हो गए. 2 साल तक तो प्ले स्कूल बंद रहे और अनफॉर्चुनेटली जितने भी बड़े ब्रांड थे, चेन्स थी, उनके मोस्ट ऑफ द स्कूल क्लोज डाउन, कभी खुले ही नहीं हो. अगर हमारे उस टाइम पर 250 से ज़्यादा स्कूल थे तो उसमें से जब दोबारा से पैंडेमिक के बाद स्कूल खोलने की परमिशन मिली 2022 में, तो उस टाइम पर हमारे केवल 80 के आसपास स्कूल्स रह गए. अगेन वी बाउंस्ड बैक, अभी हमारे फिर 250 से ज़्यादा प्ले स्कूल्स हैं. तो हमने उसको थोड़ा डिले किया. एंड लास्ट सेशन अभी हमने जनवरी में, लास्ट सेशन इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि जनवरी में, तो जनवरी वी लॉन्च्ड आवर करिकुलम विद ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी. सो कंप्लीट करिकुलम फॉर द चिल्ड्रन इज ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इन ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी एप्लीकेशन. वेयर सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आज के पेरेंट की क्या है कि बच्चा, क्योंकि पैंडेमिक से आई टेक्स लॉट्स ऑफ पेरेंट सेशन. मैं पेरेंटिंग वर्कशॉप बहुत करता हूँ, मैं अपने फ्रेंचाइज की वर्कशॉप बहुत करता हूँ. तो मैं पेरेंट को 2020 से पहले बोलता था कि बच्चे को फ़ोन मत देना हाथ में. और जब मैंने फिर जूम पे कनेक्ट करके पेरेंट से बात करनी शुरू की पैंडेमिक के दौरान, तो मैंने कहा बच्चे को फ़ोन दे देना हाथ में, जिससे कि हमारी टीचर्स जो भी बता रही हैं वो कुछ समझ पाए उस बात को. और यू नीड टू बी देयर विद द चाइल्ड, क्योंकि बच्चे को जो हमें एक्टिविटीज़ करानी है वो आप ही ने करानी है. बच्चे को कैसे करानी है वो स्कूल में टीचर्स कराती थी. तो देन वी अभी क्या है, अभी एप्लीकेशन जो है, अभी पेरेंट की प्रॉब्लम ये कि बच्चा गेम डाउनलोड कर लेता है, गेम खेलता है. अभी 4 साल के बच्चे को गेम डाउनलोड करना भी आ गया है, एप्लीकेशन डाउनलोड करना भी आ गया है. तो अभी सैनफोर्ड के पेरेंट्स की एक प्रॉब्लम हमने सॉल्व की कि हमारे पेरेंट बोलते हैं कि अभी बच्चा वो ये नहीं कहता कि वो वाली गेम खोल के दो मुझे, अभी वो कहता है वो स्कूल वाली गेम खोल के दो. उसे नहीं पता है वो स्कूल की लर्निंग एप्लीकेशन है. तो दिस इज द वट एवर चाइल्ड इज लर्निंग. दूसरी बात, एज पर NEP, हम NEP बोलता है कि हमें एविडेंस बेस्ड लर्निंग करनी है, एक्टिविटी बेस्ड एविडेंस बेस्ड लर्निंग. तो एविडेंस कैसे आएगी? हमने अपने क्लासरूम्स में डिजिटल पैनल, जो जैसे सैमसंग वाले स्टॉल लगा के बैठे हैं, ऐसे डिजिटल पैनल्स, वाइट बोर्ड इज रिप्लेस बाय डिजिटल पैनल. क्योंकि बच्चे की क्लास में ब्लैक बोर्ड, वाइट बोर्ड, डिजिटल पैनल पे जो एजुकेशन होती है प्ले स्कूल में खासकर, वो बहुत कम टाइम के लिए होती है. मोस्ट ऑफ द एजुकेशन हैपन विद द एक्टिविटीज़, रोल प्ले मॉडल्स. तो वो अगर हाफ एन आवर की अगर क्लास हो रही है तो वो डिजिटल पैनल्स पे हो रही है सर, डिजिटल पैनल पे हो रही है, वो रिकॉर्ड हो रही है, सेव हो रही है. और पेरेंट को एज ए एविडेंस हम उसको PDF बनाकर भेज देते हैं। तो पेरेंट को पता रहता है कि क्या स्कूल में चल रहा है बच्चे का, कहाँ तक चल रहा है, बच्चा क्या एक्टिविटीज़ आज कराई हैं, वो भी सब एक्टिविटी है। कोई वी डोंट टीच चिल्ड्रन, वी मेक देम टू लर्न बेसिकली। तो ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी का हमने बहुत इस्तेमाल किया है, और आई कैन प्राउडली से सैनफोर्ड इज द फर्स्ट प्री स्कूल चेन विद द करिकुलम बेस्ड ऑन द ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी। वन थिंग। सेकेंड थिंग, हम AI की जो बात करें, मैं 2 मिनट और लूँगा। फॉर द स्कूल चेन, प्राइमरीली फॉर द स्कूल चेन, लाइक गीतिका मैम या मैं या जयपुरिया या कोई भी स्कूल जिसके स्कूल अलग अलग शहरों में हैं, हम उनकी परफॉर्मेंस कैसे एनालाइज करेंगे? सिटिंग इन द लखनऊ और सिटिंग इन द बनारस और सिटिंग इन दिल्ली और नोएडा और गुड़गांव, हाउ कैन आई एनालाइज द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ माई स्कूल? कैसे एडमिशन प्रोसेस को ईजी कर सकता हूँ? कैसे मुझे एडमिशन प्रोसेस को एनहेंस करना है? लास्ट ईयर जो स्ट्रेटेजी ऑप्ट की थी हमने एडमिशन्स के लिए या टीचर ट्रेनिंग के लिए या बच्चों की लर्निंग के लिए या पेरेंट्स के साथ कनेक्ट बनाने के लिए, वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बताएगा सर हमें कि कौन सी हमारी जो एक्टिविटी थी वो ज़्यादा फ्रूटफुल रही।
Right.
तो आई थिंक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और AR VR तो मैं उतना ज़्यादा नहीं फेवर में हूँ, क्योंकि उसके लिए एक डिवाइस लगानी पड़ती है। AR और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ये दोनों आज के टाइम में इट्स द गेम चेंजिंग टूल्स और टेक्नोलॉजी in education sector. We cannot ignore this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. Yes, sir, I will fully agree, because I can understand the pain of selling education in a franchise model. I was working with NIIT and we had 3,300 franchisees. It is all the more reason for an entrepreneur or an owner of education especially. Education is a service, it's a noble service. You cannot sell it as a product. So the after sales service is very, very difficult of a task. It is sitting in a corner of a country. How will you know the performance of a counselor at the front office, which is talking about all the money making or all the product making, you can say. Second point which I liked too much is that integrating that with the curriculum of which is ever changing, which is connecting with the in case of this curriculum as well as especially play school, it's very difficult to have visual impact. It is very difficult to have experiential learning model to be embedded into the learning pattern. Those things already required. 20 years back I precisely agree with that. Then the third point which you wanted to summarize is that taking care of the stakeholders in mind, whether it is a parent, whether it is an evidence-based curriculum of delivery and services that we are doing. So thank you so much for all these things. And yes, visual reality or the virtual reality takes devices to come in. Anyway, India is anyway backdated 20 years. So we will not wait for further 20 years. Let's see how Ma'am Geeta is going to connect this to the early childhood, because the play school is coming to the early childhood. So to Dr. Geeta, I have a specific question to you, is that the strategies that can be employed to prepare the students for a digital skills that is required. You sounded two things. One is the early childhood education. The second, you said that you are also taking care of the CSR project. CSR has got this...
No, that was earlier.
Earlier.
That was earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, of course, now what is happening is that whatever we are going to do now, it will ultimately impact the socio-economic quotient that we are wanting to create when the children are getting employed in terms of schooling is concerned. So what is the kind of skills, especially the digital skills, that the strategies that you will incorporate for ensuring this technologically? Thank you.
Okay, so if we go back, see, technology is not new. I have been in this journey of transforming education with the educators. So in 2002, there were smart classes in the classes, but the teachers were not ready. What pandemic has done to us has been a great favor, where suddenly all the teachers and the educators in the classrooms realized the potential technology has. And they not only learned how to use technology, but they also saw the impact it has on the learning and the engagement of children. So in K-12, it is very easy because children are older and you are able to use technology. There is, you can do flip learning, and children had taken up very well. But when it comes down to pre-primary and the early childhood care, we had to fight a great mindset. Unlike your schools, our schools were highly experiential. Little Millennium schools had a pedagogy which actually completely aligns with NEP. When we did the mapping, we realized we were 80% there. But it did not have a technology component because we felt children till the age of 6 should not be introduced to technology, while it can be used as a tool and you can show videos. But after the pandemic and in fact lately, we have been deliberating a lot with the educators, our own teachers, who, because again, monitoring, we have large scale operations. We have about 750 schools pan-India. How do you know where each child is learning? So one is the learning management, then the monitoring at the corporate level. So we have to do a lot of, deliberation in terms of using technology for all key stakeholders. We realized that for teachers were anyways tuned to using technology for their self-learning, for using tools, for making, classrooms engaging. Also addressing the mindset, also addressing the attention span of children, because little ones had not been, the minute teacher comes, she has to use a lot of activities. Now, if she has a little video, she realized that you can quickly engage the child and you are able to manage the class well. For children, we realized that children are actually digital natives. This is still a struggle where teachers don't want children to use technology, but then the regular, you have game-based tools, which children, when they are engaging in technology, you are able to assess their skills, which teacher otherwise is not able to do through observation. So she's able to manage the class, she's able to do formative assessment using technology, which can be game-based, which she can, she can use in a differentiated instruction. She can make groups, she can, engage children in according to ability levels. Then we are using technology for taking feedback from the parents. Earlier, it used to be very difficult to take real-time feedback. Now, we have allowed and we have sensitized all the teachers to take feedback very regularly from the parents, because parents are the real judge as to how the quality of teaching learning is in every classroom. And we are using that data very effectively in awarding teachers, rewarding teachers, and making it very transparent. So that transparency has triggered a self-drive in teachers, where they are keen to improve their own quality. Otherwise, it is very difficult to know what is happening within the classroom. So unless teachers realize that their performance is being assessed by the parent at home, and there is a mechanism to take a feedback, they are also made accountable. Plus, they know that they have been using AI very effectively. Their lesson planning, their new activities, innovation, they realize that the mundane tasks have become very easy now. They don't have to, if they have to give an instruction, they don't have to think, because all, the language skills also in far-flung rural areas is difficult. They used to take ages to create messages for the parents. Now the feedback goes to the parents where they are able to articulate it very well and use AI, which is available on the WhatsApp also. So teachers are using AI effectively for self-improvement, for making teaching learning effective. Children are using it for getting glued, engagement, stimulus variation in the classroom, where they're moving from one activity to the other, and there's a larger span of attention found in the children. And parents are also more engaged because they are now partnering the school, because they know that they have an equal stake in their child's, and they have a responsibility to give, a candid feedback to the CLOs, the Center Learning Officer, who is taking feedback from them. And the school management, like who is sitting, and we get a dashboard, we know how things are happening. We are able to generate the need of training for the, not only the teachers, but also for the trainers. So there is a constant improvement which is taking place on an ongoing basis.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you.
So, what I could take, the three words I could take is that learning management system, that says everything. Okay. Starting with that, landing into a dashboard. The dashboard will tell me the consistency when I tap on it every time. So, what the digital skills that I could understand from what you are talking about, the teachers, the parents, and the management you are talking, is that you are having a system developed for tapping on the activities that is happening, maintaining a consistency on that, giving a continuous improvement training on how to re-equip or maybe enrich your own qualities or the abilities that you wish to do, which is directly related to the competencies to be done for the ensuring productivity. Okay, leading that, taking that as a cue from you, thank you so much for that. You have touched based all those three things. Our audience must be very curious in knowing is that how are we making the children life ready and career ready, and how is the part of schooling that is playing what critical role or crucial role that it is playing. So, Mr. Pandey, so I would like to know what is your strategy for collaborating this technical things, technological things, innovative things, creative things to collaborate schools with the employers. If you can talk about something. In case if you can finish within 3 minutes, we will go for a closing remarks
We'll
of
try.
3 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's a huge gap that we are aspiring to fill, as educators. What are we teaching in our classrooms, in our schools, and whether it is aligned to what exactly the workplace demands when the child steps out of the school education, goes to select a career, whether, the demand of that word meets what we are teaching in the classroom. It's a huge gap. There could be a few things that we should have, started by now, or we should start by now. I think the first problem is awareness. There's still lack of awareness, and if you talk about the collaboration between higher education institutes like colleges and the employers, it is happening. But can it be brought back and can it start happening in the school level is the bigger question that we need to ask. Because, once the child steps out, and after that, Coursera is one of the organizer sponsors. I think a lot of courses that people do online, or even any skill development course that the students are doing after reaching the graduation level, it is very compulsive. I use the word compulsive and impulsive. That is not the time to build your skills. That can be done right from the school level. After that, it is just the demand. You're following a certain trend, you're following a certain colleague or classmate or friends who's doing something, and you're also doing. There's no data to back whether it is the right career option for you, whether it is the right course for you. So I think that is something which can be done at the school level. And employers, there has been a few initiatives, a few corporate houses like Infosys, Wipro, they have taken this initiative and done this with schools and colleges both. They did some skill development courses for schools as well, which needs to be increased. And of course, not just the corporate houses, even the government needs to play a very important role. So that is one. Second problem that we are facing is digital divide. So what does it mean? A lot of our schools and a large portion of the population or the students, they are still deprived of the right resources, technology. I would take a very simple example. We have approximately 29,000 CBSE schools in the country. And if I can tell you, 90% of these schools will have a computer lab just to meet the standards of CBSE affiliation. How many of these computer labs are being used? Whether they have the internet, whether the computers are working, that's another very big question. 90%, that's a huge number. So the mindset that we have, it is just to meet the benchmark, and rather the mindset should be to set the benchmark. So that is a big mindset problem that we have, which needs to be addressed. The third problem that can be addressed is the professional development of our teachers. All educators, we understand this is a universal problem, the kind of educators we are getting, the kind of teachers we are getting who are working in the system. We are trying hard towards their professional development, but still, this is one area which has a vast scope of work. So I think the corporate houses, they can start certain programs for teachers, for professionals to develop their professional competency, which can help us build that network. And last, just one more point. I think, we spoke about, Dr. Rathore was saying that, it is very difficult to control when you give devices and exposure to technology, whether it is channelized, whether it is used in the right manner by the students. They're going towards games and so many other distractions are there. So how do we control that? Again, the employers, the corporate houses, because now we are living in a world where there's too much of automation. Employees' productivity, their engagement, their performance, everything is tracked through software. So I think that needs to come at school level so that it gives us the relevant data to understand whether the child or the student, they are using the technology to its benefit or not getting distracted. So I think that is the fourth thing probably the corporates can help.
Thank you. So, thank you so much. You are talking about catching them young as well as making them career ready, and for which the teachers also needs to be trained on it. Teachers need not be trained on the curriculum or competencies. Teachers need to be trained on the demand of the industry. They should be knowing what industry is looking for, is what you are saying. So that is left with 1 minute 27 seconds. Now it is 25 seconds. Let me try to close with my remarks. Is that past glory is not the future story. Our teachers, our principals, our educational leaders have to understand or tell our children as well as the parents, and the message is that avoid time pass with the passing of the time. You will realize there are lots of improvements required in the child's mindset. The children are brighter. Education is a product which can be sold before manufacturing. And B.Ed colleges are not the most sought after raw material in the process ever in the manufacturing. So B.Ed colleges, where all this speaking should start with the College of Education, which is B.Ed. There is where the teachers are getting made. So we need to incorporate all those things into that space also. Like in the morning, where Vijender was talking about Industry Academy Interconnect. It's very important. I was talking to Mr. Rai also. He is sitting here. There is a need for the higher education, adopting the lower education, the school education, the K-12. The schools are the incubation centers and the colleges are the launch pad for making the child career ready. Time is up, 0000. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए, everybody. I request all of you to please kindly be here. I would like to request Dr. Sunil Rai, Chancellor, University of Petroleum and Energy Study. I would like to request you, sir, to please kindly come and join us on stage to felicitate all our dignitaries. Everyone, तालियों के साथ please welcome sir on stage. First of all, I would like to request our session moderator. I request you, sir, to please kindly come forward and join us. Thank you for moderating this session so well. Thank you. Thank you. I request Dr. S.K. Rathore, sir, please kindly come forward. I request Geetika Bahuguna, ma'am, please come forward. मैं request करूँगी Mr. Shiv Pandey, sir. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us. Once again, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for all our dignitaries. Thank you. Thank you so much everyone. Thank you.